documents on my phone. Someone's coming up the stairs. I'm sorry. Okay, it's not to my apartment. For some weird reason, I like it like that. Okay. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go. Where's the camera? Oh, it's right there. That's right.
It has come to my attention that I have made an awful mistake. Today I have another author spotlight to share with you, but before I jump into this author spotlight, the author that we are featuring today, Matthew, has kindly asked to make up for my mistakes, to read a letter that he has written for me to share with you guys as a big apology, as well as to share a little more information on what his novella, Florida, is about, as he feels as if his recorded pieces do not do his novella justice. Thank you.
Now read it.
I, Nichi, need to formally apologize. Due to an unfortunate series of circumstances, as I've been juggling many things related to my bookish platforms, I made a mistake and promised Matthew his author spotlight video would come out today. He was so excited for it. You can imagine his dismay when I told him I messed up and gave him the wrong date. So to make it up to him, I'm releasing his video today alongside another author spotlight, creating this glorious Sunday to be an author spotlight double feature. And after all of this went down, I then proceeded to message Matthew this morning and let him know that I may not be able to get this up, as I had a mass breakdown with my phone just this morning while I was trying to piece these videos together. So my biggest sincere apology to Matthew and all of my viewers watching this. Now, to give more information on Matthew's novella, Florida, and let you know more about what it's about. Matthew's novella, Florida, is an example of tense, reality-based horror that examples being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It centers around Florida, her husband, and their two friends as they find themselves stumbling upon a gruesome murder at the hands of an unhinged man. What makes this book all the more terrifying is not only does Florida find herself fighting for her life, but also for her unborn baby. Matthew brings the readers uncomfortably close to a horrific event that is painted so clearly. It feels as if it actually happened or could happen. How was that?
Acceptable.
Thank you. All right. Okay, no, all kidding aside, you guys. Thank you, Chris. All kidding aside, I did make a huge mistake to Matthew. I had written down the date that his was supposed to be going up. Anyways, it was just a big miscommunication. It was a mess up. It was a typo while sending messages. So I do truly need to apologize to him. But that being said, the silver lining in all of this is we now get to have a double feature author spotlight this wonderful, glorious Sunday. So you saw an author spotlight go up before this. Well, we now have a second one for today. So let's welcome Matthew.
Hi everybody, my name is Matthew Little, and I am the author of the 2020 horror novella, Florida. Yeah, I wrote that.
I don't know about all of you viewers, but I am very excited to get to know more about Matthew and his novella, Florida. So let's just jump right into these questions. Has writing always been a passion of yours?
Yes and no. It's been a passion for a very long time, but it wasn't something that I truly discovered until, I would say, I really wanted to write a novel by the time I was in high school. In middle school, I kind of messed around with like writing songs and whatnot. I wasn't even really too big on reading either. So in high school, finally, I got into reading a little bit, and I thought, like, I think I could write a story myself or a book, whatever. I feel like I have the ability in me, so I would mess around here and there, write things in like my notebooks or whatever, and eventually when I got my laptop, that's when I started to attempt novels and stories and whatever, and Florida came about, and that was it for that.
Where did the idea for Florida come from?
So the idea for Florida originally stems from when I first, this is going to be kind of crazy, so I just apologize in advance, but the idea for Florida came when I was in middle school, and I very first heard about the Manson murders, and specifically Sharon Tate's death and how she was killed while very pregnant. I remember being a kid. Now, at the time, too, I'm like 12 years old, but I'm very into horror movies. My dad let me watch horror movies from a really young age, which doesn't sound all that great, but it turned out fine. So I was used to horror movies where the main protagonist was usually like a thin, petite girl who was able to, get away and overcome like obstacles that were in her path and whatever. And I thought the idea of a pregnant woman being killed never crossed my mind. So it was like a shock, to be entirely honest. And then I started grinding my gears together a little bit, and I was like, wouldn't mind seeing or reading like something like that, like, because it adds such a anxiety to it. It adds more terror, is what I'm trying to say. A lot, like, there's a new overabundance of stress, added to the situation. Is not only is this character trying to save her own life, but now she's trying to save her baby's life. And that really fascinated me, so I wanted to write a story with that going on, to give my personal take on that situation. Because really what I wanted to do with Florida was I wanted to depict a terrible situation, a violent situation, and keep it as realistic as possible. Because I'm very drawn to realism with everything that I write, regardless if it's a book, a story, a poem, anything. I really enjoy like the physicality of everything and how this would actually map out if it were to really happen. And this, like, the reactions and the reactions and actions, that's what I wanted to do with Florida. And, I did my absolute best. That's what I think.
Were you nervous releasing Florida out into the world?
I was a little nervous, only because for two main reasons. One, I edit it myself. I don't have an agent, an editor, anything. That stuff costs money, and that's something that I unfortunately lack. So I wrote and edited it entirely myself, and I know I probably missed a couple of things reading it, hundreds of times. You just sort of skim past things that you didn't catch the first time, and a couple of them might be still in here, but you know what? For what it is and what I try to do with it and the kind of story that it is, I think it's good as is. I could go back and re-edit it and resubmit it, but you know what? It's a moment. And another reason why I was nervous about releasing it was I was low-key afraid that people would think of me as like some weird person who has an interest in seeing pregnant women in peril. Like, I honestly thought like a reader was going to say something to the effect of like, what kind of person would write this? This is like, oh my God, like, that's not the case at all. That was definitely something that crossed my mind. So I was actually, give you a little tidbit, I was a little, I don't want to say amazed or anything like that, but I guess taken back would be a good one. When I would have women readers compliment the book and say that they couldn't put it down. In fact, a couple of my dad's friends, their wives, who I've never met in my life, I don't even know if they know my dad or anything like that, told their husband to tell him that they were like, oh my God, he has son's book. I wish there was more. I couldn't put it down. It was so crazy. I don't know, maybe it's because it's, maybe they can identify with it, especially if they're a mother, but that was really cool.
Where would you like to see your written work 5 years from now?
Well, a nice little Netflix movie would be nice or something like that. I don't know. I have thought about maybe doing something with it and making it into a full-fledged novel and then maybe publishing it through like a major publishing house or something. I don't know. I don't have any plans to write any sequels for it. I did have some ideas while I was writing it of something that I could do afterwards, but it would have only worked if I had mapped out the story differently. Let me think. Hold on, let me think. Let me get my gears going again. I'm sorry. But with everything that I write, I would love to see adaptations of it, even if it was like just a student film or if it was like an indie release or something. It doesn't have to be like Netflix and Amazon. Amazon, because it was published through Amazon, I'm thinking, you know, that would make sense. But to see anybody put what I wrote into film, that would be like an absolute highlight of my entire life, and honestly a goal. It's a goal. I think that's every writer's goal, is they want to see their work adapted. Or maybe it's just me, I don't know.
What is the largest obstacle you have faced during your author career?
Honestly, the largest obstacle would have to be finding the time to write, because I do have a full-time job. Even when I didn't have a full-time job and I had a part-time job, I was still doing things and honestly couldn't really focus too well on my writing. So finding the time to write, finding the inspiration, finding a way to fight procrastination, because I'm one of those people who's always on their phone constantly doing whatever on wherever. Definitely that, just finding the time to write, period. You know, I am still at the beginning of my career, and I do predict for myself there being a nice career. It would be something that I would love to live off of, to, you know, use my talents to the best of my ability to be able to be comfortable in this life, you know. To get there, though, I need to write. So that's definitely an obstacle that I need to work on more, is my creativity and my writing habits, at least. Maybe set aside some goals, like a daily goal, weekly goal, or something. You know, it's going to happen. I just need to actually do it.
Do you care to share any information on what you may be currently working on, or is it a secret?
It's going to shock some people to say, but I'm not writing anything horror right now, other than I'm toying with a few horror stories on my phone, and my Google Docs app on my phone. But other than that, I'm really seriously writing this story about a gay couple who happen to go on a crime spree. And that's all really I want to give about it, other than it's sort of, how can I put it? I'm trying to say it without stuttering. I don't know why I'm stuttering. I'm not even talking to anybody. It's autobiographical. Not the crime part, but like the character and what like he goes through, what he lives in, like where he starts out and everything. And that is very much about me, but the story itself is entirely fictional. And it's sort of a passion project that I've been working on and off for probably about 6 or 7 years, maybe. But I have high hopes for it, and that's actually something that I would love to see made into a movie. So, you know, if I haven't been working on it too much because, you know, personal life issues have been going on. Work is also hard, but I do plan on releasing that very soon, as soon as I'm done writing it, which I will get to too. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this interview. Once again, my name is Matt, and I wrote this book. It's called Florida, and it's available now on Amazon, and I appreciate everybody got it. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you for considering me a read, though, if you're interested.
There you have it, everyone. That is the fantastic Matthew. Matthew, again, thank you so much for being so understanding on all this mix-up. And then again this morning when I was messaging you and letting you know if it still may not happen, as I was having a huge breakdown with my phone. I really appreciate you being so understanding and easygoing about it, but that's okay. We made it. We've done it. We're here, and the author spotlight is up. I have not yet had the privilege of reading Florida myself. However, it sounds really good, and I can't wait till I can get my own hands on it and dive into it as soon as possible. Has anyone read Florida? If you have, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think. No spoilers, please. If you haven't read Florida, does it sound like it's something that's up your alley? Do you plan on picking it up? Again, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you to all the viewers that have come by and watched this author spotlight. It means so much to me, as well as it means so much to these authors. As usual, I will have all of Matthew's socials in the description so you can go and follow him there, check out his work, send him all the love. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this author spotlight, and I will see you guys all in my next video.